Because this is what we do. We decide that we want to do something. And then we start making excuses about why we don't do the things we need to do to achieve what we decide we want to do. So all the time we throw in little excuses in the way. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it, but the Super Bowl's on. Oh, I'd like to do it, but there's a good match on tonight. Oh, I'd like to do it, but this is happening, and so I've got to put it off and do that. Well, you know, I'd like to tell these people around me that they're not going to suppress my life anymore, and I'm going to express my full uniqueness. But what I thought is, you know, there's something coming up. I don't want to upset people, so I'll put it off. I'll do it next week. All the time we can do this. Now, we either want to be free or we don't want to be free. We're going to go for it or we're not going to go for it. Of course, there's diplomatic ways of doing it, but so often I see, and I do understand it, wanting to avoid what is necessary to achieve what people claim they want, and the excuse list just goes on and on and on and on and on. And instead of you're to blame, it's like, how can I find a situation to explain away why I'm not doing what I say I want to do? Clear your mind. This is a good one. I've done a lot of this over the years from what I used to be. You know, I have this thing which I call the deathbed experience, or the deathbed reality, even a way of putting it. You're lying on your deathbed, you've got 10 minutes to live, and you're looking back at your life. How much of what wound you up, made you unhappy, made you stressed, made your life unpleasant, you got angry about, how much of it in that deathbed experience, 10 minutes to go, actually matters? Sodding next to nothing, if that. Nothing. And it's another way that we get trapped in this out there holographic reality, which is getting attached to things that don't matter. You heard what he said about me? Oh, I'm disgusted. I'm so upset. Don't give a shit, mate. Don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. What's it matter? You know why it matters? Because you've made it matter. I think that David Icke's mad, crazy, an idiot. Thank you for sharing that with me. End of frickin' story. Write your opinion. I have a right not to be affected by it. Doesn't matter. Thinks I'm crazy? Good luck to him. Brilliant. I don't think I'm crazy. I'm not affected by that. And I don't get stressed. Oh, how can you say that to me? I'm now getting stressed. I'm getting into a low vibrational state. Why? For something that doesn't matter. If I'm lying on my deathbed, I look at all these people that have heard this abuse at me, and all these situations, I go, yeah, it was funny. What a laugh. What a laugh, really. Right? And yet at the time, you can get really caught in it. And if we clear our minds of what matters, because, again, what it is, it's moving our point of observation from this reality to the out-of-body reality, because when we're out of body, none of this crap matters. You talk to out-of-body experiences. Hey, Jill Bolte-Taylor, when she's having the stroke and went in the right brain as the prime reality. Hey, this is La La Land, it's lovely. Oh, it doesn't matter, all that stress is all gone. I haven't got it anymore. And the trick is moving that perception of the out-of-body, higher consciousness, there is no time, no sequence, all that stuff, moving that into this reality, not 10 minutes before we move out of here, but when we're in it and living it and experiencing it, because that will completely change as we move that point of observation, the way we live our life, what we can achieve, and the way we interact with reality. So much that we think matters doesn't friggin' matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm in another dimension now. What was all that went on? I don't know, I can't remember, mate. How are you doing? All right, I haven't seen you since you were, in Egypt. And what's it? So how are you doing now? Doesn't matter. It's just an experience. And this is the sequence that I found people seem to go to and I went through. The first stage of the opening to freedom, in its true sense, is to realize we are in a situation of slavery. Because again, making excuses, hiding from what you don't want to face. You know, it's like the greatest power over people is when you tell them something they want to hear. So if you tell them that something's happening that they don't really want to think is happening, and then someone comes along and says, load of rubbish, mate, load of rubbish. No, it's fine, honestly. You want to believe this guy because you want to believe it's fine. And so we are in denial of the situation we're in. Not people in this room, obviously, but in general, humanity is in denial because they really don't want to face it. So much better to hide it, hide away from it. Oh, no, it's a load of rubbish. The guy's mad, mate, and all that stuff. But there comes a time, if we ignore it, when it comes in our face, and then we've got to face it. And people come to that conclusion at different points. But first of all, we face the situation we're in. Okay, now we can deal with it. It's like when you're in a situation where you can see the dictator. It's not a very nice situation, but at least you're one step ahead of being in a society that's controlled by dictators you cannot see, touch, and taste, because at least you know there's something to deal with. Stage one. Stage two, choosing not to be a slave, choosing freedom, real freedom, not the illusion of freedom that we call freedom. Most people on this planet don't want bloody freedom. I meet people in the Christian movement in America. They talk about freedom, and some of them talk about this conspiracy on a 5-sense level and stuff. They don't want bloody freedom. You know, I met one once in Tucson. I was talking to him about how what happened to the Native Americans and all that stuff, and we're going on, and this guy is such a white supremacist, it's unbelievable. And I said to him, do you know, and you know, we were talking at an anti-Illuminati bloody rally, right? And I said to him, little mate, I don't know who terrifies me more at the thought of being in power, the people I'm trying to expose, or you who's trying to expose them as well. They don't want freedom. They want the freedom to replace an imposition they don't like with an imposition that they do like, their own belief system. Crikey, I've been, harangued by Christian people in America so often because I'm talking about Jesus and stuff and the Son God. Well, okay, don't accept it then. You believe that, I'll believe this. We'll have a beer, forget about it. No, must impose myself. You're not interested in freedom. So when we choose freedom, it's real freedom. And freedom, funnily enough, is not the freedom for us to do what we like at the expense of other people. It's the freedom of everyone to have the same rights as us. Freedom is not freedom for us to take the freedom to impose on others. It's accepting the freedom of others the same as we expect the freedom for ourselves. So, when we talk about banning freedom of speech, no one is against freedom of speech. It's like being against, wife violence. No one's for that, and no one's for the end of free speech. But then they start dealing with what free speech is. Oh no, you can't have free speech to say that. I believe in free speech, but that's going too far. No, you can't be a little bit pregnant, mate. Free speech is free speech, okay? You can't edit it, right? And when it comes to freedom of speech, people should have the right to say what they want and all the rest of it. And anyway, don't we want to know what people think about things rather than all going on in the shadows and no one knowing what's really going on? Of course, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. It's freedom, funnily enough, for people to say things we don't like and to stand for their freedom to say things we don't like as much as to stand for freedom to say what we do like. Freedom is freedom. It's indivisible. So, I choose freedom. I'm not going to be a little bit free, I'm going to be free. And I have a simple philosophy. People say, freedom, that means you do what you like. I have a simple philosophy. Do what you like, so long as you don't impose it on other people. Real simple. And people say, well, no, that would be chaos, that would be anarchy. No, it wouldn't. Be opposite of that. Well, what about people who murder people? Well, I think that's imposing your will on somebody. Do you think that might be that? I think we might just kind of, and we can do this. Someone wants a party, some kids want a party, the local people don't want the noise. What happens in this world now? Left brain structure, you've got to make a decision. Are they going to have the party? Are you going to have the noise? We'll go with the residents, they've got to vote, okay? Now, what we can do, they want a party, they don't want the noise. We must find a place for these kids to have a party where these people are not affected by the noise. Everyone's a winner, sorted, harmony. This is what society can do. Most of the problems are not real problems. They're just the fact that we don't want to sort them out because we don't want to change society in a way that will sort them out. Simple as that. And when we choose freedom, again, I choose freedom, but not when there's an R in the month there's a good match on. And not if I have to face this official bloke who looks pretty nasty. I don't choose freedom then. Making excuses. We can make excuses not to express our freedom all the time. And if we do that, then we're never going to be truly free. Then we get, after acknowledging our situation, making the choice to change, then we can start the transformation. Why? Because when we go for it, real choice to be free, then everything changes. Energetically we change. What we draw to us changes. People come in and out of our lives that add to our understanding and our ability to go down this road of freedom. Everything changes. Transformation. And it's a wonderful thing. It can be a challenge. I love this film, The Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams in this film, when he's teaching the kids and basically saying, look at the world from a different angle. He used to stand on his desk or their desks, and he was asked, why are you standing on the desk? And he said, I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way. You see, the world looks very different from up here. You don't believe me? Come and see it for yourselves. Again, when we start to make this transformation, we start to move with it our point of observation of the world. And if we move our point of observation, we're going to start acting in different ways. We are going to start perceiving in different ways. And therefore, again, we've got to let go the fear of what other people think. Oh, you can't stand on the desk. It's stupid, sir. That's what so many people do. Ooh, no, I better not do that. They'll laugh at me. Boom. Real freedom. Choose freedom. No excuses. And you look at the world from a different angle. You stop seeing yourself in these terms. Little me. I can see myself down there somewhere. Looking in the mirror. This is me. Hey, it's good. It's a computer. It's a computer. It's a wonderful, incredible thinking energy construct with consciousness up to a point. And it's the great vehicle for us to experience this world, but it's not who we are. And if we identify with it, we identify, apart from it being a vehicle, we identify with the computer and not us. And when we move our point of observation from the fact that we're little me, and this is me, and I'm Ethel Jones and Charlie Smith, out into the greater awareness, and we observe us and the world from out there, then the world looks totally different, situations look totally different, we look totally different, and what bothers us and hassles us and all the rest of it just fades away. It doesn't matter. And this energy field changes what we draw in, and we can create changes, and we are transforming the outer by transforming the inner. As this happens, we start to expand the range of frequencies. We're decoding the levels of awareness that we are able to access to give us insight and intuitive knowing. My God, we're on our way. This is the level of the transformation. This is the level of the revolution, if you want to call it that. It's not guns, it's consciousness. And we wake up. And as that happens, we wake up and we go, why didn't I see it before? So many times people have said that. I can see it now, it's so bloody obvious. Why didn't I see it before? Because that's what you were before. And then suddenly, boom, boom, point of observation. Oh my God, it's obvious. And this is happening now, this wake up. It's happening. It can be challenging, mind. I'm not saying it's a doddle, because that sums up some of the ways I felt over the years, and last Tuesday, no, not quite so much now. But this was a great one of me in 1991. I tell you what, that really kind of absolutely encompasses symbolically my inner self. And why? Because when we start to transform, what we put out changes, what we draw in changes, and the outer world appears to collapse. Oh my God, what do we say? My life's falling apart, mate. Mine did. Because the construct going out fell, the construct it was creating fell, my experience, my life's falling apart. But what happened? As a result of the collapse of that rigidity, that false reality that I was living, as a result of that, bingo, another reality could come. Would I go back, despite everything, to what I was before I started to wake up and went through that shite? No frickin' way. No way, thank you very much. No way. Hello, good evening and welcome. Here is this sport. And there's snooker on tonight. I was him? Oh my God. No, that was him. This is me. Different. Simple as that. This is the big, big thing to get over. This is the four-letter word that controls the world. And, it's fear that allows this to happen. This guy's in control because they're following and all the rest of it. Now, if any of these bloody sheep said, sod this for a lark, I'm off, he's in real bloody trouble now, isn't he? Where's the point of control now? It's not on the sodding tractor. He's got 100 sheep to find. But here, oh yes, bah, bah, bah. Did you see the news last night? Yeah, bah, bah. He's in control, sitting on his sodding tractor, doing bugger all. This is the way the society works. Oh, I better not go out here. I better not go out there. No one's telling you not to, in fact. But it's the mouse in the laboratory maze. Oh no, I'm going down there. Not going down there. Oh no, I'll go. All that stuff, and it means that we are in symbolically this state. And if we go, I am me, I am free. Hey, you on the tractor? See ya. And everyone does that. God, the tractor's lost his power. He's not in control of the situation anymore because we've taken control back. And if the sheep did that, this guy would have no control over them. The idea is to lock us into a belief system, lock us into a suppressed and encased reality, and it's called fear. And fear puts you in your shell. He's ever so insecure. He's always in his shell. I'm trying to bring him out of his shell. All these bloody phrases we use absolutely describe what we're talking about. And we get stuck in the bloody box. Oh, I'm going to Oxford this year. Pass me exam. Feardom or freedom? Feardom is what controls this reality. It's what controls our energetic state, our vibrational state, our density, and all the rest of it disconnects us. Freedom is what can set us free. And fear of what? As Gandhi said, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Was it worth it? Was it? I know people, they're going to the dentist and they're going, oh God, I've got to go to the dentist in 3 weeks' time. Oh my God, I'm ever so worried. Oh no, God, oh no, I can't go out. I'm worried. No, about the dentist. 3 weeks later, they're sitting in the waiting room. Oh my God, I've got to the dentist. Oh my God. Mr. Smith, this way. Oh my God. 5 minutes later, walks out. Oh, no problem. It was all right. No problem. Spent 3 weeks of agony projecting forward fear of yesterday or tomorrow. Why? When we get caught in this thing about survival, it's very important, because when we get into a point of survival, we get into the reptilian brain. We lock in there because that's our survival instincts and our survival mechanism. Survival. Survival of what? Survival of life. I don't want to die. A doctor save me. And all this stuff. There is no death. There is only life. There is only infinite consciousness, infinite awareness, infinite eternal existence. within all that is, has been, and ever will be. They're the 2 points of observation. One, survive, survive, survive. One, there is nothing to survive. Chill out, mate. Okay, that's what it's like. So, there are very two different ways of looking at things. When we lock into body consciousness, we can lock into survival mode. Why? Because the body software has many survival mechanisms and programs within it. And that's not a bad thing, that's a bloody good thing. Because within this reality, this survival instinct of the holographic level of the body computer is a good thing. We wouldn't last long if those survival mechanisms weren't here within the computer, within the world that we live in. It's when they are the governor and take over. They don't just react in times when we're in danger, they are there all the time. Oh, I'm ever so worried. My mother used to say about a neighbor, it's being so worried that keeps her going. What? What? But so many people, and and I noticed this from earlier in my life. I could worry for flipping England. You know, I ain't standing here cross-legged on a bloody mountain saying I'm speaking to my disciples and all that shite. I have been through all this shit and continue to go through a lot of it. So when I'm talking about these things, I'm talking to my sodding self as much as I'm talking to anybody else. And this is what we all experience. It's not about this or that. God, the shite I've been through, I could, oh God, emotionally and all that other stuff. And so when we get caught in that, we get caught in body consciousness. And you get people, I call it emotional addiction. I had this at one time. An emotional addiction, you know the receptors of the cells that take in heroin and cocaine and all that stuff? They are the same receptors that take the chemicals caused by emotions, because emotions create a chemical reaction in the body, and vice versa. Hence the mercury and the fillings and all that stuff. And we can get into a state of emotional fear and fear of not surviving. It's kind of all different expressions of that, where we need a fix when there's nothing to worry about. I noticed that. I felt uncomfortable. I was almost in, emotional cold turkey at one time in my life when I didn't have anything to worry about. Because it's an emotional state, it's a chemical state, it's a drug state. And it's a body consciousness state, which has these survival programs. When we move our consciousness to this level, then we know there's nothing to survive. And so the survival instincts, while they can react on a body level to physical danger, quote, they're not constantly constraining and influencing our reality. Now, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear of not surviving when you hear this? Everything from the beginning, my birth, my ancestors, my children, my wife, everything comes together simultaneously. I saw everything about me and about everyone who was around me. I saw everything they were thinking now, what they thought then, what was happening before, what was happening now. There is no time, there is no sequence of events, no such thing as limitation of distance, of period, of place, of time. I could be anywhere I wanted to be simultaneously. What is there to fear surviving or not surviving when we move to that level of consciousness? That's the level, if we get to it, and we can come from that within physical embodiment, or what we call it, suddenly our lives transform. And if enough people do it, this reality transforms. Know thyself. That's something that we've been manipulated not to know. Don't ask questions, know the answer. When we're thinking, questions, we're actually saying to ourselves, I don't know the answer. When if we just get to that level of knowing, of intuitive knowing, you find the answer without asking the question. You just know. This asks questions, trying to work things out. Chatter. Wonder what that is. The reason at the level of intuitive knowing, the connection to higher awareness, you know the answer without asking the question, is because instead of asking the question within isolated consciousness, disconnected from infinite awareness, you're now connected to infinite awareness. So instead of asking the question, you know the answer because infinite awareness is the all-knowing. There's where the answers lie. Without asking the questions, you just know. I just know I've got to be so-and-so tomorrow. How do you know that? I don't know. I can't explain it. I just know. And you go, and what happens? Something happens that takes you forward. Whereas you'd have gone, no, I can't do that. No, you can't do that. You've got things to do. You've got to go to the supermarket tomorrow. How do I feel to go there? This intuitive level of knowing is our connection to higher consciousness. And this is, if you watch it, always at war with intuition, nearly always. And when we go with this intuitive knowing, again, right brain, and don't let the left brain dominate. You can't do that. You've got a mortgage, and you've got